Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I am Teresa Whipple here with Steve Willits. And we're back thanks to our sponsor, Red Onion Burgers, for another season, 2016-17.
Yeah, the summer went quick, didn't it?
It sure did. And now all of a sudden it's cold again, the hot weather's gone, and it must be fall.
It means students are heading back to school, and it means
Football.
fall sports.
That's right. Well, I'm saying football because that's the only sport that's happened so far.
Yeah, we had a few games that take place already. All 4 of our schools in the district getting their football seasons kicked off on Friday night. 2 of them locally at Edmonds Stadium, the other 2 on the road. Road teams, not the best weekend. Meadowdale heading up to Monroe, losing to a very, very good Monroe Bearcat team, a team that I think might win the Wesco 4A title this year. And then Edmonds Woodway, a very tight battle with Jackson, 2 good teams, and unfortunately for Edmonds Woodway, who I think had the lead going into the 4th quarter, just lost by the smallest of margins. So both of those 2 teams looking for their first victory still. Both of those two teams now get to play their next game at Edmonds Stadium this Friday night. I'll segue that into a little promotion for ourselves here. As Sound Live Sports Network will be broadcasting both of those games. So Edmonds Woodway will be playing Woodinville at 6 or 5 o'clock Friday night, and then that game will be followed by Meadowdale and Redmond at 8 o'clock. But the 2 teams that played at Edmonds Stadium last week, they got victories, and rather easy victories at that. Mountlake Terrace 49-6 over Seahome. We had 6 different players score touchdowns for the Hawks in that game. Quarterback Garrett McDowell and running back Nick Fisher both rushing for over 100 yards. Brian Shelton was our player of the game at 285 pounds. Not only did he block on offense, did he get a sack on defense, he also kicked 7 extra points. So it was kind of fun to watch him out there. And then the Lynnwood Royals, a team that had their first winning season in football last year for the first time since 1999. They took on the Ballard Beavers to open their season, and they came away with a 56-20 victory. Lynnwood looking to have a huge year. We brought 2 of their superstars from their team, Alton Hammond, the quarterback, and Ryley Johnson, the wide receiver. Brought them into the studio a little while ago and had an interview with them, and here's what they had to say about not only Friday night, but what to expect this season. The 2016 Lynnwood Royals football team is off to a great start. They get a 56-20 victory over the Ballard Beavers at Edmonds Stadium last Friday night, and with me, 2 stars from that team. Alton Hammond, he is the starting quarterback / linebacker for the Royals. And then I've got Ryley Johnson, who is the starting wide receiver, cornerback, kick returner, PAT kicker, and just about anything else that's needed. Guys, huge game the other night. Ryley, I'm going to start off with you. And I'm going to put a picture up on the screen here before we go any further. This is a picture of you on the opening kickoff return. 80-yard touchdown before the game even really started, and I've got to give you a hard time because I ran down to the concession stands right before the game. By the time I got up to my seats, 6 seconds into the game, you were already in the end zone.
Yeah.
Now, did you tell me I wasn't the only one that missed the touchdown? Is that right?
Yeah. My mom said she missed the touchdown because she was just getting in after she got a parking spot and realized there was already 7 on the board.
So the word that we want to pass along to Lynnwood Royal football fans moving forward, if the game starts at 5 o'clock, if it starts at 7 o'clock, whatever it might be, get to your seat early because this guy might take it to the house before we're even barely into the scoreboard. So anyway, 2 touchdowns for you the other night, 1 via the kickoff return, 1 via pass. You had 12 all of last year. Tell me a little bit about your game this year and what you're trying to do differently.
Well, I'm just going to try to bring it off of last year because last year ended really well with me. And just trying to continue the scoring for my team, just trying to get the wins.
And a guy who is no stranger to wins, Alton Hammond, all-Wesco quarterback last year. You had yourself quite a season. I think you mentioned you were accounted for 33 touchdowns total last year. You're off to an even better start now. 3 touchdown rushes on Friday night to go along with 3 touchdown passes. That's, if my math is correct, that's 6 touchdowns, Alton. That's a heck of a night.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, tell me a little bit about the game. It's Ballard. Your coach, Keontae Bankhead, it's his alma mater. Did he mention that to you guys before the game? What did you guys talk about during the week and leading up to this game?
The week leading up to the game, he just said it was a very big game because all the players that he played with are the coaches there now, and he just really wanted to beat them. And when he scheduled the game, It was early in I want to say April when he told us, and he was very excited for it because he just really wanted to beat Ballard.
Now, I'm going to ask you a little bit, too, about your quarterback style. And Coach Bankhead and I were talking in the studio last week when we were getting ready for the pregame show. Now, I don't know how to even describe you. I've been asked about you a few times. You've, 5'10", 5'11", kind of built like Russell Wilson in that regard, but you're built like a linebacker, too. So I was joking with Coach Bankhead, when a lot of quarterbacks get outside the pocket and they get downfield, they look to slide. You kind of like the contact, though, don't you? How do you describe your style at quarterback?
I've been in the past. I've been a run first quarterback, but this year I'm gonna try to be a pass first quarterback. I like contact. I like trucking people just because, they aren't expecting it.
And Ryley, I think you probably know this as well as anybody. This guy can hit, can't he?
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
one of the bigger hitters in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys both, not only on offense, had a great night, defensively as well. Lynnwood is a team that finished the season last year 6-4. It was the first winning season in Lynnwood since 1999. So that was quite the accomplishment. What are some of the goals this year? Ryley, I'll start with you on that one.
Definitely making it to playoffs, and then from then seeing how far we can make it.
And Alton, how about you? What do you?
Same playoffs. We've been saying it since our freshman year, just to make it to the playoffs, and this year we have a real chance.
And a lot of great players, a great offensive line. As a matter of fact, we've got a picture that we're going to put up right here. Ryley, it looks like you're airborne in that photo. Tell me what's going on there. Who is the guy holding on to you there?
That's Jacob Laban. He's our center. He's super solid, and that's our touchdown celebration.
Oh, that is your and you can see the orange shoes, by the way. Nice style points there. Alton, other than Jacob, who else do we have on the line that we're looking at this year?
We have Stephen Weibark at right guard, Aaron Gaines at left guard, and left tackle we have Tommy Nee, and right tackle we have Nathan Junkin. All returning starters from last year.
And one guy we didn't mention there, who's on the shelf for the time being, temporary injury. You had an all-Wesco player in there too, right?
Yeah, Harris Cuddick, best offensive lineman in Wesco.
There you go, right there. So that's not a bad thing. Ryley, besides playing offense and defense, we mentioned you also are a kicker. 7 PATs the other day, point after touchdown. So you were perfect. Or I'm sorry, 8. I almost cheated you out of one. So 8 for 8. What about this guy's kicking ability, Alton?
The first time I seen him kick last year, he hit like I want to say 55-yarder. We haven't really gotten to that situation in the last 2 years, but I think we will, and he'll hit a 55-yarder.
Can we bank on that? Are you going to be looking at a 55-yarder possibly?
I mean, hopefully we score a touchdown, but I mean,
Very good answer.
If we need to.
Now, the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about, Alton, you were the number 5. Ryley, you're the number 21. Saw some stuff on Twitter calling it Flight 521. Is that a new moniker this year? Are you guys going to be looking to promote that a little bit? And
Yeah, for us, yeah.
And now it's not just 21, right? You got other receivers you're looking at. Ryley, maybe I'll talk to you about this. Tell me a little bit about some of the other guys who are catching passes. One in particular who caught 2 touchdowns the other day.
Yeah, DeLon, he's new to our team, but he's super fast and super quick, and he beats people. And he's a really good addition to the team.
And that's DeLon Smiley Tatum, who's transferred over from Meadowdale. Okay, and then we've got another transfer from Bothell, who's getting a little time in the backfield, along with Mikey Kirkman. Tell me a little bit about your running backs.
Raymond, he came from Bothell. He played with all the Lynnwood Tigers guys. So that'd be Harris, Nathan, Mikey, Aaron Gaines. Like, they all played together when they were in Little League, and so I think that's why Raymond, he came here because he wanted to play with us, and he wanted to play with his old teammates. And Mikey, he dropped some weight in the offseason. He got a lot stronger, and he's just running hard for us.
About 215 pounds, not a bad guy to have in the backfield there with you. Both of you are seniors right now. I've got to think, just from watching the way you've played, not only last year, but, boy, on Friday night, you both looked just solid. Colleges looking at you guys yet at all? Alton, I'll start with you. You're a two-way player. You're a linebacker. You're a quarterback. What are your hopes for the future, and what might we looking for you from next year?
I've had a few colleges come to talk to me, but right now I'm kind of looking at Western Oregon just because Tyree Carson, one of my good friends, goes there. My good friend Malik Braxton goes there.
Couple Meadowdale guys right there.
Yeah.
And they've got 5 Meadowdale guys there right now, I think. So that's kind of a nice pipeline already going there, right? Now, Ryley, for you, you're a soccer guy. You've only been playing football for a couple of years now. This is year number 2, correct?
Yeah.
Now, I know you're one of the best soccer players in the area. A lot of colleges have already talked to you about soccer. If all of a sudden you keep putting up 2 or 3 touchdowns per week, Might it be a decision for you to be made between the two sports?
I mean, if the offer's there, then I'll have to look at it. But I mean, until then, it's soccer specific.
And maybe a kicker as well, right? You
Maybe.
can do a little bit of that too.
Yeah.
So again, great. You guys are having a great season. You're getting off to a nice start. You play Marysville-Pilchuck this Friday night. A Marysville-Pilchuck team that gave up 63 points to Snohomish. And Alton, I know I was talking to you off camera. You've already started to look at this team a little bit. I've got to think as a running quarterback and a quarterback who can put it up in the air too, when you watch a team get beat by 63-13, you got to be licking your chops. Are you excited about Friday?
I'm excited, but we can never overlook a team. That's a very good team, very well-coached team with a lot of good running backs returning from last year. So maybe they just had a bad game against Snohomish, but that's a very good team too.
Yeah, and a Snohomish team that you're going to be contending with for this title this year. Snohomish, Everett, Mountlake, Terrace, Meadowdale, Edmonds Woodway, so many tough teams this year. I mean, have you guys taken a look at the other teams, or do you try to focus one game at a time? But have you had a chance to look at any of the other Wesco opponents yet?
For us, it's just preparing our own team and just making sure we're ready for game day, because a lot of times last year we got caught off on game day just not being prepared, and so this year we're just making sure we're prepared for every game and getting the job done and making sure we get the win.
So making sure they get in the win. They got it on Friday, looking for another one this Friday. Oh, and one more thing too before we go. Alton, we have a picture of you I forgot to put up on the screen here. You given a nice stiff arm to one of the Ballard defenders. Not the first time I've seen you do this to somebody. Usually uncharacteristic of a quarterback, but something you like to bring to the game every once in a while.
Yeah, Little League, I used to be a running back. Freshman, sophomore year, I used to be a running back. Just springs from those days.
Do you find a lot of these defensive backs are kind of surprised when the quarterback gets into the backfield and gives them one of these stiff arms?
Yeah, they're not expecting it, so it's a good little surprise.
And a lot of surprises ahead from the Lynnwood Royals this year. Again, off to a great start, beating Ballard 56-20. They've got a big game coming up with Marysville-Pilchuck on Friday night up in Marysville before coming back to Edmonds Stadium. Ryley Johnson, thank you very much. Alton Hammond, thank you. Appreciate you guys, and best of luck to the Lynnwood Royals all season long.
I remember when we interviewed Ryley last spring when he was playing soccer, and what a talented guy he was then, and then to hear how many positions he plays on the football field too.
Yeah, not bad for a guy who wasn't even going to play football initially. Had to be talked into coming out last year, and yeah, go figure, right? The guy who is the all-world soccer player is the kicker on the football team. So yeah, a lot of fun to interview those guys. Ryley and Alton, for folks who haven't seen them play. The stats don't do it justice. Those two are phenomenal out on the football field, as are their teammates too. This could be a big year for the Royals.
Yeah. And now we're going on to the next sport we're going to talk about, which is cross country, right?
Yeah, cross country also starting off right now. I think their first, some of the meets are coming up this weekend, or some of the invitationals, and some of the other schools are still about a week and a half out. But nonetheless, it is that time of year. Great cross-country teams around here too. You had an Edmonds Woodway girls team that finished in second last year. Of course, the Pivick sisters down at Lynnwood, they had a huge year last year. And Mountlake Terrace, the girls in particular, the last 3 years they've finished fifth, second, and sixth respectively at state. And so we decided to bring a couple of their young ladies in here that have run for quite a while now. Should mention that this was all kind of brought on by the fact that I got to judge a barbecue contest the other day for the this is their kickoff event that they do every year, just to try to bring the families and the runners together, and got to talking to them, and we thought it might be fun to bring a couple of them into studio. So two of those young ladies who have been putting up some huge times over the last few years, that'd be Katherine, Gustafson, and Jessica On, came into the studio, and here's what they had to say about the upcoming year. For the past 3 years, the Mountlake Terrace girls cross-country team has placed in the top 10 at state, looking to do it for a fourth consecutive year, and the year is about ready to get rolling here. We've got two of the stars on that team, Katherine Gustafson and Jessica On, with us right now. Both of these ladies going to state last year and having very nice careers so far. Katherine, so many honors in so many different places over the last few years. I'll start with you. Give us a little background as to where you've placed at state over the last few years, not only in cross country, but in track.
So I've qualified for state in cross country all 3 years. My freshman year I got 6th, and my sophomore year I got 9th. And then in track I qualified for state my freshman year, and I got 8th in the 3200 and 10th in the 1600.
Okay, and then Jessica, you've been at it for a while as well. What kind of
Yeah, so for
Places
cross
you go.
country, I actually only competed my sophomore and junior year, and I was a state participant. And then in track, I've done all 3 years, and I've gone to state in the 800 all 3 years, and I've gotten to compete in the finals and get on the podium my sophomore and junior year and placed 6th and 7th, respectively.
So they've had very nice showings. Third, I think, in state last year at the track meet for the team. And then when we're looking at the cross country, your freshman year, 5th. Sophomore year, the team finished 2nd in state. And then last year, 6th in state. So you can tell these ladies have had a lot of success. You're just coming out for the new season. Everybody's kind of bonding. I wanted to bring this up because I think it was kind of a fun event. I got asked the other day to judge a barbecue cook-off that you guys do every year. And we've got a picture right here of the team having a little fun at the event. This is something that kind of gets everybody together every year. A nice bonding experience.
Yeah.
Something you guys have been doing for the entire time you've been there. Is that correct?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
of
been,
course.
this year was like our 11th or 12th one as a team.
Yeah.
And again, I got asked to be a judge, so there were 3 of us, along with Doug Podrowski of MLT News and Tara Zool, who does runs the Booster Club at Mountlake Terrace. We had to pick the winning steak, and Coach Todd Weber was bragging before the event that he was going to win. Coach took 3rd, so he made the podium. But the winner was this guy right here, if I can put up this picture. Jessica, do you recognize that man?
Yeah, that's my dad, Tim. I told him that I really wanted him to win this year because my coach is like always really smug, and my dad's gotten beat by my coach all last year and everything. So I was like, you should actually do it. You should actually try. Like, do good. Like, you should win.
And
he did.
And when he did, he got first prize. But on a serious note, this is kind of an event where, again, you guys are coming together for the first time since the off season. Really, a chance for family and runners to bond. What does that mean for you as a team to get together like that?
I think it's really important because it's the first time the newcomers and the freshmen get to like see what everybody's about and just see us outside of practice, because in practice there's quite a bit of like intermingling, but it's mostly just get the workout done, have fun, and go home.
And I think it's really good for the families too, for the families to get to know each other, so the parents can kind of see what our program is really all about. I know that's what my parents really appreciate about our program, is things they found when they've come to events and gotten to know my coaches and everything.
Yeah.
And your coach being Todd Weber, we were having a fun conversation off the air a few minutes ago. Really, Coach Weber, very instrumental in getting both of you to come out for cross country. You both were looking at going in different directions right before you started your freshman year. Katherine, I'll start with you. You were initially a swimmer.
Yes, I was. My mom put me in the pool since like I was 3 years old, I think, and I'd been swimming all throughout middle school. And I did cross country just because because we didn't have swim in middle school. So I was like, I'll try something new. And my 8th grade year, the last track meet, I was really thinking that I was going to swim in high school. And Weber and Whalen came out and talked to me, and they're like, you should at least show up to the off-season workouts, and it just got me hooked in the sport.
And I think they're very appreciative of that. It's gone very well for you. Jessica, you were already doing track, but you weren't necessarily doing cross country, right?
Yeah, a similar thing happened to me during my middle school track experience. I got really into the 400 and thought that was my thing. That's what I was good at. And so I went into my freshman track season with that mindset. And then Coach Weber kept coming up to me and saying how I needed to start doing workouts with the distance program to like build up my endurance, which would help my 400. And he finally convinced me, and then the more I came to workouts, the more control they had over what events I was doing in meets, so they put me in the 800, and I ended up being a lot better at that than I would ever be at the 400. So then that got me hooked on the program, and that's what led me to do cross country my sophomore year.
And it's working out well. Swimming, one of those events, by the way, Katherine, that great conditioning exercise, great cross training, so to speak. You mentioned also when we were talking that you do a lot of hiking. What other activities do both of you do that maybe contribute to some of your successes in cross country?
I know we do biking in the mornings, and
yeah, we do a lot of biking and swimming for cross training. We actually swim once a week, which is pretty unique to our program. We have our coaches have all the girls swim the day after our really hard workout to get a really good recovery in, so we're not pounding our muscles in our joints and our legs against the pavement too much.
yeah.
Now, I know both of you, again, participating in state last year. Once you get to state, they take I believe it's the top 5 running scores, right? Or top 5 times as a team. So it's not just the 2 of you. I think 7 members of your team were at state last year, but only 2 of them were seniors. So you've got some other returners as well.
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about some of the other girls who are on this team.
I mean, they're all great. We're getting a new girl, Sandra, on the team, which will be really good. And then Marika and Joan are really strong, and Sophia as well.
Yeah, Sophia, Joan, and Marika are all veterans. Sophia's in our class, and then Joan and Marika are a year younger than us. And then Sandra's also in their class, but as this is her first year doing cross country, we got her from soccer. She was doing soccer beforehand, but we convinced her. She had a similar story to mine.
And let's give them the proper shout out too. What are their last names so we can kind of watch for them this year?
Sophia Nelson, Joan Park, Marika Jamtas, and Sandra Hart.
So some more names to keep an eye on there. Not only from your team though, but Westco is very strong in running. The Edmonds School District, my goodness, last year completely very tough. I mean, we had Yukino Parle who finished second in state.
Yeah.
She also, I believe, won the 3,200, I think, in track,
Yes,
correct?
she did.
Yes, she did second, and then Malia Pivot got second, I believe.
From Lynnwood, yes.
Yeah.
She's back also. Then Olivia Meter-Yetter was fourth in state last year. Boy, when you start to look at Westco, it's extremely tough.
Yeah.
Do you find as runners that it brings out the best in you as competitors?
Yeah, of course. It's always better to have better competition. Having competition that's so close to home too, like we can create relationships with the Edmonds Woodway team and the Lynnwood girls. We actually have some our coaches are friends, so we have friendly competitions between us. We do like kickball together and stuff like that over the summer. So it's fun. It's good to have friendly competition, and we go to our running camp with them too.
Now, another interesting thing this year, when you get to state, or I should say if you get to state, but we'll assume you're going to get there. When you get to state, Mountlake Terrace now going down to be a 2A classification school this year. So you're going to compete with the other Westco teams during the season. However, once you get to state, you go off in a different direction. Have you had a chance to look at some of the 2A times yet? Do we know who some of the big competitors are at the state level, or is that a little bit too far? Are we getting ahead of ourselves?
I know for a fact Seahome will be a big competitor, but we haven't looked a whole lot about the
Yeah,
2A
I think
times.
we're trying to focus on having fun and making it not so much about that.
The way it should be,
You know what I
right?
mean?
Yeah. Do we know, does 2A have the same state location as 3A, or is that
Yes.
so it's still in Pasco then? Okay, great. So either way, they're going to hopefully go to Pasco this year, but along the way, you're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of success. And I should also mention these two ladies here, and matter of fact, I won't even mention it, I'll let you tell me, both taking a lot of AP courses. You're not only athletes, you're student athletes, right?
Yes.
What kind of classes are you taking right now?
So this year I'm taking AP Calculus BC, AP Physics, AP Gov, and AP Lit.
And Jessica, what about you?
I'm also taking AP Lit and AP Statistics and AP Biology. Those are the AP classes I'm taking this year.
Which will help you get into college. You both want to run in college, I
Yes.
would assume?
Yes, I would love to go to university and study psychology.
And what distance would be ideal for you at the college level, or what would you be looking at?
Probably the 800 and the 1500 is what I would end up doing on the track.
Okay, and then Katherine, what about you for college?
I'm really hoping to study environmental studies, and I'd probably wind up running the 5K in both track, or I guess it's the 6K in cross country and the 5K on the track.
Well, it'll be fun to see where these two ladies end up. But first, they've got a whole season of cross country in the fall, track and field in the spring. Thank you very much for coming in, Jessica, on.
Yes, of course.
Appreciate it. Katherine Gustafson.
Thank you.
And we'll see what the Hawks can do in 2016.
Well, there's a lot of cross-country talent around this area, and I'm sure we have more good things to come.
Yeah, quite a few good cross-country runners around here. And we didn't even talk about the boys, really. And there's so many of them around here that are very talented. Mountlake Terrace boys also finished in the top 10 in state. I think it was 2 years ago. And they seem to think they have a good chance this year, too. So stay tuned for that. We'll cover all of cross-country all season long. And other sports as well. We've got tennis for the boys coming up. On the girls' side of things, we have soccer, swimming, and volleyball. So a lot going on in this fall, and we plan on talking about all of it pretty much every week.
Sounds good. Well, we look forward to seeing you back next week at This Week in High School Sports, and have a good week, everybody.